No. But the weird thing is, despite the fact that I don't have the heating on during the day, there is a area at the top of my landing which is distinctly warm, despite that there's no heating on at all. It's like not a cold spot. And unless anybody was wondering, no, we weren't talking about this before we went on.
No. It's just like oh, I got the wrong hat on. It's just a weird thing. It's like you'd expect a house to have a cold spot, but this one it's like there's a warm air vortex. I don't know where it's coming from. It's really bizarre. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Ghost. Welcome to the interesting modelling company Midweek Revue. We've got Drew with us tonight. But we really shouldn't mess around like this because we've got so much to cram in tonight within the next hour-ish. But before we go any further, what have you been up to, Drew?
Just working and sleeping, really. Yeah, pretty much. Do you mean modelling wise?
Modelling wise, yeah.
I mean, modelling wise, I needed. Well, let's go to the top view. Let's go top down. Mm-hmm. So the F-16 is kind of still sort of limping along. I'm using some new techniques to do the weathering on it. I'm still not very happy with this model, and it's turning into more of a test bed stroke prototype for when I build the next one, where I'll get everything right that I got wrong on this one.
So you're not happy with your build rather than the actual.
Yeah, it's almost entirely down to stuff that I've done. Don't get me wrong. Right. But I mean, there's things like the detail on the fin base here is so faint that it hasn't really picked up a wash. So it looks a bit bare, and I haven't done anything about that. So next time, forewarned is forearmed, and 10 minutes just deepening those lines will pay, dividends. The initial coat of varnish went really badly, which I was not very happy about. The original coat of flat. And I'm experimenting with, I used all opaque coats. There was no weathering at all, no fading or shading or anything on the initial coats of paint. And all the shading and stuff on panel detail you can see there has been done with oil paints after the initial coat of varnish, which I think is more controllable than using an airbrush, and gives you a better sort of control of opacity and fade and stuff. So I really quite like the way the weathering's going. But it's definitely more of a tester. It'll get finished, but it won't be. It'll get finished, but it'll be a 3-footer, shall we say?
Right.
And then the other thing was that I needed something quick to slam together. So this is nearly finished now, which is a Trumpeter F100C, which
I wonder where that came from.
Yeah, I've only been doing this for about a week. I haven't done any put any pictures of it or photographs up or anything like that. So I varnished this one yesterday, and it's pretty much the best smooth satin I've ever managed with to get. So I'm really happy with the way that's gone. So we're just moving into the weathering and sort of finishing phase for that at the moment. But that was like a quick
slammer,
a quick slammer, because who doesn't love the Super Sabre? You either you love the Super Sabre or you're wrong. That's all there is to it. So yeah, that's what's been front and center. But unfortunately, I bought this decal sheet for this twice in the past, and I still couldn't find it this time around. So I still went and ordered the third one, and had to wait for them to turn up before I could put the markings on it. Again, that's my clumsiness in managing to lose decal sheets. But no, so it's actually a really nice little model overall, that Trumpeter F100, the 72nd one. And I'm doing stuff like I'm going to use the folded pitot, and I've made a little cover for the pitot and stuff, which will get a remove before flight tag and stuff on it. So that'll add a little bit of colour to it, but will also hopefully distract the eye from the fact that the nose, the air intake profile is wrong on this model. Not rounded enough, far too flat at the bottom. So, but I decided rather than mess around with trying to correct that, I just wanted to build the model and sort of ignore the, you know, la 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 about the accuracy issue that's bothered me about this model since it was first released. But I've managed to sort of resist, shall we say?
When was that released?
This F1, the 72nd F100, it's about 10 years ago.
Okay.
They've released the C, the D, and the F. So, which, like I say, they're pretty nice. They're pretty nice models. They go together quite nicely. Very nicely, in fact. And you know, that's a week's work to get there. So, you know, it's just what I needed, a quick model to slam together just to sort of break the post Christmas logjam, as it were.
Now, Drew, I've got before we go any further, I do have. Let's just check. Just get the queue up the. Let's queue up the branding here. Bear with me. Goodness me! Come on. I know. Right, here we go. I have got for you here a bag of Airfix Warbird Modeller's Brew tea.
Who's the tea boy?
Oh, exactly. So it's. I'm sure both of the bags that were sent to me were both for me, but I share the wealth around.
You're good like that.
I am. I'm very good like that. So yeah. So there's a thing here of Modeller's Brew tea. I haven't got any of their coffee. I'm just going to call up the coffee. It's just my little bit of corporate here. But share screen because I don't drink coffee. You see, so
no.
So here we go. And then you do a coffee as well. So what I'm going to do is I shall put in an order for another bag of tea and another thing of coffee as well. So there we go. Modeller's Brew coffee. I got to say, and this is going to sound very, very hackneyed and cliched and whatever. He said, angling his cup like this. You see, it's just like no. It's good tea. I mean, it's you know what I'm like for tea, and you know how what's the word I'm looking for? Troublesome I can be with tea. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's very nice. If you did me a blind taste, I would say it's kind of like Miles tea of Porlock, really. So it's very good.
Well, that is high praise.
Yeah, it's not got that kind of aftertaste you get with tea. In fact, when I was, I probably told this story already. When I was down in Minehead back in the summer, and I was in the Jubilee tea rooms, and I had a pot of tea there, and the tea, it was just vile. It was really horrible. And I said to them, well, what tea is it? And they kind of like, they were sorting through the stuff, and they went, oh, here it is here. It was actually Miles tea, but I don't know. It was just, wasn't right. It was Miles tea gone bad, I think. Since then, I've not had a bad experience there. But anyway, there you go. So fussy. Here we go. John,
the Dorset and Clipper teas are well worth torring as well. They're both.
Yes, I've got a box of that in the kitchen because I've run out of Miles. In fact, but yeah, right. So John Patrick Huston is gonna use them at the next club night. Excellent and whatever. Dave Fleming says fussy is the word. Yep. And Dan Wood says tea should always be taken seriously. Absolutely. And in fact, Drew knows what I'm like for taking my tea seriously. So anyway, look, that's enough of the tea talk. Be a new feature of the show now. Tea Talk. Right, Drew. Where do you want to start with? Because we've got loads of new stuff for 2023 that's all suddenly been announced this week.
Shall we start with a quick rattle through my opinions of the Meng Phantom?
Go for it.
So finally, last week, courtesy of Mr. Hills, the F4G showed up, yeah, I'm pretty blown away, I have to say. I'm blown away, especially by the quality of the tooling and execution of the kit. And bear in mind, I've pulled this out of nearly everything out of the bags. The thing that I love most about Meng at the moment are that they are achieving a crispness that really is only achieved by the likes of Tamiya and Academy these days. They're up in those ranks of crisp tooling, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the thing, because I can remember when they released their F102 and their Fiat G91. I remember thinking, well, they're nice, but they were very soft.
Yeah, well, the thing was that like the F102 was quite wide and soft panel detail, and the G91 was very, very fine and almost disappearing panel detail. So it kind of, it was straddling that kind of line. The F106 they released a few years later is actually beautiful. But everything about this, from the quality of the plastic to the way it's been molded, it's really, really nice quality plastic. It's the panel lines are almost completely consistent no matter where they are on the model. There's no fade out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, arguably, let me get a pointer type thingy. So, arguably, I know that when we were looking at the sort of pre-release shots, there's panel lines along here and here, which looks quite deep and soft. But I have to say, in the flesh, they actually look okay to me. They're not nearly as ill-defined as photography, as photo and film can make it look, which is a thing we've had with Airfix in the past, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, there's no dumb spine insert for this. It's all molded in. Yeah, it's all molded in one piece. But the thing is, you've got like this. Let me find. Here's where I go looking through the bag, because I've removed loads of stuff. I am looking for something specific. Trust me. Is that a good view?
What, the top of your head? Yeah.
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 Ah, there it is. There it is.
Probably the best view, actually.
Shut up, Mark.
Shut up, Mark.
Yeah. So you've got this heat shield here. Now, in a lot of the photographs that we saw pre-release, the detail on immediately aft of the exhaust looked extremely overdone. And I don't know if you can see, but in this, again, in the flesh, it's still a little bit overdone. But under paint, that is going to look, just fine, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Bearing in mind this is in a heavily shaded area of the aircraft. It's normally very dark metal and sometimes sooty. To my mind, you can give this a quick rub over with some wet and dry if you want. But getting too wound up about that detail on there is a bit like getting wound up over the shape of the escape hatch on the bottom of a T-72 tank.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that nobody's ever going to really pick it up and look for. So again, it's one of those things that to me was much ado about nothing. But the thing is, it's mainly along the line of the metal on there.
Mm-hmm.
And well, that's it in place.
And that's also, so as you said, that's along the lines of the metal. So that is almost kind of like not masking, but delineating.
So yeah, and you see that with just the tiniest bit of pressure,
I got no problem with that.
it's absolutely, it's about as perfect as kits get. And the thing is, I mean, it has to go in. It has to go in before you join the top and the bottom because it gets trapped in there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you add this in, and well, you didn't even hear that go together, did you?
No.
I'm trying to zoom out.
No, you're all right.
Let's zoom out. But you didn't even hear that go together.
No.
And you've got all these interlocking parts on. You've got all the interlocking parts on the top of the wings here, look, which will lock into these here. So you get the exact spread of the fuselage across there, and then you've got the intakes, which are pretty much the best fitting Phantom intakes I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Now, again, my ongoing caveat with this is that I've never even looked inside the box of the Tamiya F4B yet, so that's a comparison I cannot make. But I will say I much prefer this to the Tsukimura kit. It might not be as 150% accurate, shall we say? But the other thing is you got stuff like the outer wing panels. When they go in place, you've got these massive lugs which will just lock straight in there and completely set the angle. A dab of glue will set the angle completely. You've got all of the intake stuff goes in here. And the model is, well, Spencer there just said, good Lord, that's like Lego. And Spencer, it genuinely is. That's how it feels. It's, once that, that tail, the heat shield in place, and then you just drop that on. But it's like you would normally expect to hear a loud click or something, which would be quite reassuring in its own right. But this feels so precise when he gets it lined up, obviously. This feels so precise that you don't even get that loud click for a fit like that. It's one of those where you virtually have to go, oh yeah, there's the join there, look. So I'm hugely impressed. And I will, like I said with the heat shield area, I'm quite happy for that not to be 150% accurate, because stuff like, with the Revell long nose Phantoms, they always got the top of the intakes completely wrong. There's no curve down, so they look far too bulky and ruin the shape of the cockpit. And they never got the nose shape wrong on the long nose Phantoms E and F either. Which to me is far more visible. So something like that is not a problem. Then you've got sort of all these. Again, one of my pet peeves is when you have the ramps molded in with the inside of the intakes, which is a bugbear of mine. But I've got no, it's not a major issue to put right. Let's put it that way. So you get there's 6, lots of stores in this. There's 6 Mavericks there. You've got a pair of AGM 88s, and I built these for the Meng, for the Super Hornet, or the Growler that I built the other month. And you can see how good those harms are on there. So those harms are beautifully done. I would have liked 4, so I could do a 4 harm setup. You also get 2 AGM 78 standard arms as well. So It's just, if it isn't really, really obvious, I'm massively enthused with this model. It's just.
What's the price of that retail?
I think it's about 55 to 60 quid.
Okay.
55, 60 pounds, which I think is, and if I'm honest, I got this from Andy and I haven't paid for it yet. I must give him a buzz to pay for it. So, the Zucchimora one is, I think, about 75, 80. I think this is around the £60 mark. I will take this with its very slight issues that people have identified over accuracy, because it's close enough. Well, you got sparrows as well there, because quite often the wild weasels flew with a couple of sparrows in the rear bays.
Yeah. Craig Sargent says no shrike.
No shrike, no. But I think sort of about the time of all the schemes in this kit, shrike was no longer used and standard arm was just about done with. But it's stuff like this. That's a one-piece molding for the undernose emitter location setup. And it's just, I'm looking and I can't see any mold lines or anything on that. Nothing's immediately obvious. It's just a beautifully reproduced one-piece molding, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I will take a good build over 100% accuracy any day of the week. And after talking about kinetics instructions earlier on, these are the these are almost like the anti-kinetic instructions, if you like. It's absolutely beautifully done. Very, very explicit set of instructions. That's actually more than I expected. $74.99. I still think it's good value. I've seen it because I've been looking at it on eBay and stuff, and it's been consistently cheaper than that. But yeah, and you even get a metal probe for it as well, included in the kit. Then you get options for one based at Dharan during excuse me during Desert Storm, which would have been one of the ones that flew quite often early on with the 4 harm outfit. Then you get one again, which is Spangdahlem aircraft at Incirlik in Turkey again during Desert Storm. After about 3 days of Desert Storm, these just went to standard ground attack roles because they'd absolutely destroyed the Iraqi air defense network already. So they reverted to just being ground attack aircraft, more or less. And then you've got an earlier, a 1980s Spangdahlem aircraft in Euro 1, which is obviously going to be the one I'm going to be doing.
Obviously.
Because Euro 1 makes everything better. I do think it's one of the best colour schemes the US Air Force has ever had. Pavel says 62.50 at Hannants. If you add
£62.50 at Hannants, there we go.
Yeah, but you have to add VAT onto that if you're in the UK. That will be his price as a member of the European Union, which we're not.
No. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean it's and just to round off.
Oh, stickers.
So there
very
is
nice
your
stickers.
Yeah, very nice stickers. Well, of course they're very nice stickers because
they're printed by Cartograph.
They're printed by Cartograph. There you go. So obviously they're very nice stickers. I'm not looking at anybody in particular, Edward.
I am.
Yeah,
but yeah, sorted out.
It's that is a really, really nice decal sheet, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That is, I'm really happy with that. And also, just as if that wasn't, as a package, I think this is pretty much. There's a set of canopy masks, but you're not actually weeding it. Look, it's already been pre-weeded, so that's just great, isn't it?
Incroyable.
Just fantastic. So you get a set of canopy mask, and you got a little bit of etch for the tail rub panels, and there's a pitot in there as well.
I think I would describe that as as much photo etch as you and I ever want to use.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's that is as much as we ever want to use, but it is also intelligently used. You know, it's I wasn't going to take the canopies out.
No, take them out. Come on, come on, come on. Chop, chop.
So yeah, I mean, there's a clear sprue, which you can see as very complex piece
Very
of
slide molded.
Very slide moldy and all the rest of it. Obviously, the Phantom hasn't got a 210 degree omega shaped canopy. So I'm gonna. Here's something to. What I'm going to do is these here are joined by one spot, which is already getting stressed around the windscreen. So I would recommend, as soon as you get your kit,
snip them off.
Snip them off. That way, you can clean them up, and you're not going to get any stress fractures around here. And really, that's more or less cleaned up now. So we are protected from stress fractures. But very nice. There's also other. There's also a bunch of clear sprues for all the seeker heads on the Mavericks and stuff. Should you choose to use the Mavericks, which I don't think was a very common fit on the F4G. It was more anti-radar missiles and tanks and the odd Sparrow here and there. I mean, I think, quite honestly, even at $74.99, I think that's a value for money package. And if you look around on eBay and places like that, you will get it cheaper. Highly recommended. I've become an instant convert, and I don't see me. I cancelled my order for my Zucchimora one on the back of that. Put it that way. So I went. That's plenty for me. And I'll look forward to the F4E, and hopefully men get on the family, get in the family way, and start doing early long noses and then short noses and reconnaissance, and maybe even British ones would be nice, but you never know with Meng. But in terms of quality, yeah, they're kind of up there with the likes of Tamiya and Academy now, I think, in tooling quality, shall we say? So,
now talking of Academy, did I see that you got the Academy A10?
No, I'm still. It's
on its way.
I don't even know if it's in the country yet.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Talk about that another time. Yeah. Right.
I mean, Robert Johnson there says the less problems in the build, the better. Yeah, I would sacrifice absolute 100% accuracy for a quick and easy build, all day, every day, and twice on Sundays.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Where shall we go next? Shall we go to
go for Revell? Go for Revell. Go on.
You make it sound like, well, we've got to get Revell out of the way.
Well, pretty much, yeah, because it's not terribly.
There's some stuff to talk about. Come on, let's not do the R down, shall we? I know they've got quite a lot of Mandalorian stuff there, and you've got a natural disinclination to even talk about the Mandalorian these days, but because of that little baby, the little egg-eating baby.
No,
let it go, mate. Let it go.
I have morality issues.
Let it go. Really. Right. Here we have. This is the Revell Catalogue 2023. Look, that's going to trigger Drew straight away because there is the Mandalorian on the cover. Right. Let's scroll past that. The usual stuff that they do, which is all their blurb and whatnot. Corporate blurb, I think is the best way of putting that. And then we will skip on to the. Come on, we skip on to they're doing some. They're doing their version of the quick builds, and this is very much like the Airfix kits. They're kind of Lego construction, I think is the best way of putting it. brackets, not actual Lego. And I tell you what, let's put that. I know. You got to be very careful with this. Yeah. So here we go. So there we go. They've got 3 new items, which are all based around the Mercedes AMG. So I'm going to talk about this. Hopefully, I'll be talking about cars with Ian Hartop on Sunday night. So we'll skip this and move on to what's next, which is first construction. We'll cover that with Ian. Right, here we go. Top licenses. Now we have got here some James Bond stuff, and well, we've got a brand new Aston Martin DB5 in 24 scale, which it says new tool. So this looks like it's going to include Bond specific items in it. Similarly, look at that at the bottom there. You've got the Ford Mustang from Diamonds Are Forever, which is absolutely splendid. I know somebody who is a massive Bond fan, and when I sent her the link to this, I think her credit card exploded. So yeah, it's pretty good stuff. You've also got the BMW Z8 from The World Is Not Enough, which okay, and then we've got the Eurocopter Tiger from GoldenEye, which I get the feeling that's probably, if that's not already the Italeri kit, I think it probably is. It's just going to be a reboxing of that.
It's an Italeri rebox, yeah.
Yeah. Then we've got the Citroen 2CV from For Your Eyes Only, and then this is exciting. It's the Moonraker shuttle from Moonraker, obviously. So that's the one I'm looking forward to, because I suppose it's one of my favourite Bond films, despite the fact it's got more cheese than the Cheddar Valley. It is just it's a mad film, but I love it. It's got so many quotable lines in it, so many kind of like great characters, and of course space shuttles. So there we go. That's James Bond like stuff coming from Revell. Then we've also got the usual Star Wars stuff. So most of that is oh, we've got a new tool. We've got the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter. So that's from season 3 of The Mandalorian. We'll skip on.
It's good to see the Bandai stuff still available.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So they're beautiful models.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Why won't that go?
Oh, it's a terrible interface, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Then we've got what we've got there. Nothing new there. That's all pretty much the same as last time, but nice kits. We've got a new. Well, we've got the Mandalorian Din Djarin figure, which is 1/9 scale. You've also got. Oh yeah, that's something I'm going to get you, Drew. That's the Grogu in his little cot. I do believe it does come with little alien eggs for him to devour. So there we go. And then we've got
I'll 3D print his intestines and spray them all over the inside. That's fine.
Deary me, let it go. Let it go.
No, I won't.
Right. And then we've got some Star Trek kits. We've got Star Trek kits there. You got the original Enterprise. You've got the Voyager from Voyager, and you've got the kind of like the reboot Enterprise, which I don't like. I think it's a terrible design, but there we go. Then moving on. Then we can skip on to Top Gun Maverick, of which they're doing 2 aircraft, but 3 kits. Interestingly, Revell's Top Gun Maverick kits have got those weird decals in them, which aren't actually the actual markings. And I don't know it seems to be a licensing requirement from Paramount that they go, no, you got to use these markings. And it's like, well, but those aren't the ones in the kit in the film. No, you got to use these markings. So it's like, fine. So yeah, that's weird. That I'll get to the bottom of that at some stage. Have you seen Maverick yet?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times.
No, right, I haven't seen it yet, but I will do.
I mean, it's a thoroughly enjoyable romp.
Yeah.
You know, that's about it. That's
Right,
about
we got
as much
there.
as I'm prepared to say.
Yeah. Right, we've got cars there, but like I say, the cars, I'll cover them with Ian on one of our on our next show on Sunday. And then what have we got there? We've got blah, 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 aircraft. Nothing new. There's new, but then
nothing new there. No,
not new tool. Blah, 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 nothing new. Scrolls down. That's our new catchphrase where we're going to do t-shirts for Telford. Just says scrolls down. Nothing new there. Nothing new there either. Then it's their kind of dogfight double stuff and their Eurofighters. Again, nothing terribly new.
There's no new toolings, is there? It's just this is all rehashing.
F-15 Strike Eagle says new tool, but I don't think
that was new tool a year ago.
Yeah.
And
there we go. We've got. I've just noticed they've got the TA-152 there, which I get the feeling that is still the Frog kit, but hey ho. Unless it's the Dragon kit, I'm not sure. And then we've got blah 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 blah. Nothing new there, nothing new. Right, we'll skip ahead.
It's good to see the Tornado GR1 is a perennial inclusion in the range.
Yeah,
72nd because it's a lovely model, but it's been in the range forever, and it's one of the few that they never seem to have dropped.
No, it's been in the range now for about 21 years.
Yeah. It's almost like a weapons set with a model thrown in. The weapons are incredible in it. The Sabre Dog's making a return. Hopefully that's the late model with the parabrake housing. I hope. So it'll be interesting that B26 Invader. I'll be interested in knowing if that's the monogram tooling or the ICM or an ICM Reeboks.
Yeah, that would be interesting because it's kind of.
I think it's down to how many parts is in the box? How many parts does it say?
186.
I think that's probably going to be an ICM Reeboks.
Yeah, I don't think Monogram ever did a gun nose version of their Invader. Did they?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah, they released it as a Pro Modeler.
Right. There we go. Right, so we just got that's nothing new there. Goes on to the next page. Right. Pay attention, 007. A 1/32 scale Gloucester Meteor F3, which is rather interesting, despite the fact that the photograph there is an F4. But
so you almost have to pick out at the moment from this what is new, because normally new has a new splashed across it, doesn't it? This is just they're not really highlighting it, are they?
No, it's not. It's not particularly well thought out, I think. And like I say, you've got this Meteor here, but that is not an F3. That's an F4.
I think that's just a placeholder picture.
It's a placeholder, but you'd think if you're going to do the placeholder, you could at least get a photograph of the right aeroplane.
Oh, come on, John. How long have you been involved in the model industry?
That's true, yeah. Right, but that's nice. I'm particularly excited at that because that also means they'll probably do an F1 as well. But no, that F3, that's pretty good news. So I wait to see that one with bated breath. Then we've got nothing new there. Nothing new there. Right, scrolls down. We've got a new tool, 144 scale Type 9 U-boat. Nothing particularly new there. Sorry, ship fans, but we are going to rattle through this, etc. And then we got vehicles. There's a lot of ICM stuff in here. What have we got there? New tool, Corvette Coupe. Again, we'll cover the cars with Ian on Sunday. Yeah, we'll just skip through this and blah 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 blah. And then we've got some military items. Not much. In fact, that's the old Matchbox stuff there, by and large. And then we've got there's nothing really new there. New parts to that Flak 43, but nothing substantial. There's nothing new there. I'm looking for colours here that say new. New parts to a Leopard 2 A6M, topical. But we'll come to that one. So I'm just gonna fly through this. No, nothing new. Then we've got the Technic range. Then we've got, well, this is just it. We're at the tail end of the range now, and then that is pretty much it for the year. So I think aircraft wise, there isn't that much coming out in terms of all new kits, but I do like the fact that they are doing a 32nd scale Meteor F3. So that's got my attention. You have my attention, Revell. And God, does this catalogue never end? Oh God, we've still got another 30 pages.
Yeah,
here.
I think we can quit out there, John. I think
I think that's the blank pages for people to write their own things in. Oh, we got the Revell Advent calendar. That's weird, isn't it? Bit out of season, but there we go. Yeah, I'll have to look into that to see what this is all about. Advent calendar model kits. Anyway, there we go. Blah 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 blah. The end of the catalogue. So I would say, out of all of that, I think that cost a Meteor.
Do you know what? They've ceded the territory to Central and Eastern Europe.
No,
they have. They're just. It's, you know, the Meteor. Okay, there's one 1/32 Meteor. There's absolutely nothing else new worthy of attention in that catalogue. I'm sorry, but Revell, that's completely. To me, that is a company
treading water,
this close to not existing, and probably wouldn't be terribly missed given what's going on in Central and Eastern Europe, and even and China these days. It's just, you look at that Meng Phantom and stuff like that, and you can see the lie of the land, can't you?
Yeah, I will point out that's Drew's own personal opinion and does not reflect the values and policies of the Int Modco. So,
yeah, I mean, I think Andy Brennan is exactly right there. Starved of R&D funding by the new ownership. It's just they've gone to an ownership that just wants to extract maximum revenue from it for minimum.
That sounds like.
Well, it's not. The thing is, it's not run by modelers anymore, is it?
Now, one of the things. Bear with me a second. One of the kits that on the James Bond stuff. One of the kits that. Oops, Daisy.
Oh, what are you doing now?
All right, wait. Sorry about that. I'm just setting up something. Don't get upset, mate. Don't get upset. It's all right. It's all going to be all right. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about it, sweetheart. Right. One of the kits that Revell. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No. One of the kits that Revell have announced. One of the kits that they didn't announce, but it's this is an interesting. There we go. An interesting one to look at, and it is they're doing the Aston Martin from Die Another Day. The Aston Martin Vanquish.
Right.
Yeah, and. Well, we can see here it is on the workbench. Absolutely faithful to the one in the film, yeah, it's.
We're not seeing anything on the workbench at the moment.
No, you're seeing the Aston Martin Vanquish from Die Another Day. Bond's invisible car. Oh, right, that's that joke. Go, right, forget it.
Right. Yeah. Well, you have to bear in mind, John, that not all of us are Bond aficionado, so that joke
has just died a death.
Yeah,
That joke has died. That joke has died another day. I'll try that another time. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I think you need to tailor your jokes to your audience.
Well, I thought I knew my audience.
Sadly not.
No, sad. I clearly don't know my audience anyway. Right. Okay. I mean, I'm not disappointed in you, but I am disappointed in you. But never mind. I'm sure we've got some hilarious comments from. But yeah, here we go. Yeah, crash and burn, aka vanish. Don't quit your day job. Get your coat. Don't worry. Yeah. I see the audience here absolutely behind me with that joke. Audience behind me with that joke, in as much as they are forcing me out of the theatre and kicking me onto the street. But never mind. I think that was worth a try. No, we're not going to do that again.
I think as polite society in the southern states of the US would say, bless your heart.
Bless your heart, sir. Bless your heart. Anyway, there we go. That's the Aston Martin van. No, it's not. They're not doing one. They're not doing right. Disclaimer, they're not doing the Aston Martin Vanquish from Die Another Day. In fact, I don't think anybody wants to do any kits from Die Another Day. It's a terrible film. Anyway,
moving on.
Right, we have now got, let's have a look. Do we want to go to Modelsvit?
Yes, we do.
You want to go to Modelsvit, right?
Well, why wouldn't I want to go to Modelsvit? They're one of my favourite countries on the planet.
Right, okie dokie. Let's go to Modelsvit then, and we have, here we go. This is the Modelsvit catalogue 2023-24, and it's Modelsvit Balkans. But I think, as you were explaining to me before the show, that's merely a function of a distributor. That's nothing to do with them decamping to another country.
No, it's like a retail arm, if you like. They're dealing with the wholesale. But I think one of the things that it's easy to miss in this catalogue as you look through it is that there are 3 different companies represented, but it's not very clear where the breaks occur. So as we go through, I'll highlight where the breaks occur, because there are distinct, shall we say, quality differences.
Well,
there can be distinct quality differences. Modelsvit at the moment are top of the game. They are doing superb stuff.
They're doing Modelsvit. They're doing A&A models, and they're doing Sova.
Yeah, I'd say Modelsvit are top tier. Sova M are quite like A model used to be, and they're very, very basic, quite rough. And A&A or AA models, they kind of straddle the middle ground. My experience of AA model has been fairly negative, but I'm open to seeing where they go, shall we say.
Right, okay. Well, let's just have a quick scroll down, because unfortunately we're going to get bogged down into this catalogue very, very quickly. You tell me what you think is an interesting highlight.
Yeah, so if you're going down there, I mean, we've got some of the huge kits coming back, like the AM124, the TU144 and 72nd. They tend to be fiberglass fuselages and stuff like that. The AN70 there, and the AN225, which is just phenomenally enormous. 72nd. It's just with a Buran shuttle on the back.
Did you ever see that in real life?
Yes. Yeah, I saw that at Farnborough in 1990, was it?
It's the same year I saw it.
The year the AN22 nearly stoofed it on the landing with a fresh engine for it, which was a worrying few seconds. So yeah, they're new, or they're making a return with new bits, shall we say? So there's nothing really there new.
Nothing really new there. But then we've got.
So you've got the blinder is coming back with plus KH22. The fitter there with KH28. So they're basically they're adding value to some of these slightly older kits by a couple of years. In fact, the M17, I must get around to getting one of those M17s. Interesting design. But these are sort of like the earlier years of Modelsvit, where they kind of moved on from A model quite a bit. They were much better than they used to be, but they still weren't top tier. And then we go down, and then we get to stuff like the Mirages here, where they really started to pick up the pace and get to being, you know, the absolutely brilliant manufacturer they are now. So again, nothing new there, additions to bits and bobs. So we've got the first new kit there, which is a Mirage G8 twin-seater, which we're starting to see stuff filter through for now, which I cannot wait. I think it's a beautiful, well, it's a Mirage, so it's beautiful by default. So there's a twin-seater, and there are also, if you scroll down a bit further, there's the single-seater as well, which is due for release. I don't like the single-seater as much as a twin-seater.
No, I don't like it much either.
I will still be having one because it's, you know, we're saying I don't like it as much as the twin-seater is not to say I don't like it, if you know what I mean.
No.
It's so yeah, there's the Mirages are still in the range there. There's a couple of boxings of the analog, which is the MiG-21 used to test the Tu-144, which is an older model making a return with new parts in it. So the Mirage 2000 family is being expanded. I believe the Mirage 5F is out now, though I've yet to get one or two, which is what I want. Then you've got all the twin-seaters, the B, the D, and the N are due this year as well. So rounding out the Mirage 2000 family. Then a Dornier DO31, which is really rather remarkable.
Yep.
What a great subject.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, and this is, you know, this is why I'm so disappointed in Revell when you've got models of it who are doing this.
Yeah.
You know, and what models of it say they're going to do generally will get done ultimately.
Yeah.
You know, they're not a company for announcing lots of stuff and not and not releasing it. Dan Wood, our models of it, the ones that use Edouard decals, no, they're not. That's a special hobby now, using Edouard for their sins. That was a topic.
Yeah, moving on.
So yeah, all this is existing stuff. Then you've got these 148 scale Mirage 4s here, a Mirage 4A and a 4P.
Good grief.
Which is the thing is with the Mirage 4, it looks like an enormous aeroplane, but it's only you know, around the same size as an F-111, which doesn't make it small. But it's not quite the massive handful. People think of it in terms of being a Vulcan, if you know what I mean. And it's really not. It's only got 2 ATAR engines. It's you know, it's got less installed thrust than an F-16. So it's not a tremendously large aircraft. But they've been working on that for a few years, so it's good to see that coming along. There's the XP-54 there, the Swoosh Goose, which was one of those weird World War II fighter projects from the States, along with the XP-56 Black Bullet there. Which is another one. These are all part of the same competition in World War II, or the same requirement, should we say? Because they've already done.
I do like the look of the Black Bullet. I think that looks.
I like the look. I like the look of the Swoosh Goose. It's long and lanky, and but they've already done the XP-55 Ascender. So that's all 3 of those. So then we've got the F-82 EH. So that's a 2-in-1. So that's just a sort of a Reeboks, and the H is coming back. One secret item there, who knows? And then you've got that red line there which says we're moving into A&A territory now.
Right.
So this is A&A. So again, 72nd scale, a couple of IL-76 and the AN-22, which will be the fiberglass and stuff models. So interestingly, the Mirage 4 there is the existing Mirage 4 kit, which is frankly terrible. It's basically a rescribed Hella kit, but fits worse. I threw mine in the bin. Lee Coll, I know, has been working on one for about 2 years now and is doing splendid work, but it's really more work than the kit deserves, in my opinion.
Labour of love.
Very much so, yeah. So we've got a couple of the Piaggio Hammerhead variants there coming. So yeah, like I say, I mean, A&A I'm a bit more circumspect with, because they've done good and they've done bad. But you've got that Helwan fighter, which I didn't realise they'd done up a bit, which is Egypt's 1960s, 50s, 60s indigenous fighter. Which is really interesting as a subject. I might have to get that, actually. That's a really interesting. It did fly. It was just never. Egypt was never in a position really to make a go of it as a production aircraft. So you've got another couple variants of the Hammerhead there. Then the 2 variants, XB42 Mixmasters and Jetmaster, which is a really interesting design again. Really interesting subject.
Which of the two tickles your fancy?
I would have to say the Mixmaster, the prop one.
Yeah, me too.
Although I do like the bug eye canopies on the other one. Although I think I'm right in saying the XB42, the Mixmaster itself, did fly with the sort of bug eye canopy as well early on. So that's a possibility. Now here you see they've also advertised a 72nd scale Mirage 4P. And I think I'm right in saying this is supposed to be an all-new tool, not based on the 4A, which is awful. So this might be based more on the 48 scale ICM model fit tooling that is currently in development. So I've got, if you have a look at the parts count on that, it's about 192 parts. Does that say
192 parts?
Yeah, and if you scroll back up to the other one, the other Mirage 4,
130.
130. 62 parts does not account for an ASMP missile and pylon, does it?
No.
So I'm sort of very hopeful that this will be a scale down of or based on the same information and stuff as the 48 scale ones, which will make it very good. Again, this is where it gets incredibly interesting for me, because obviously there's a lot of people who are going, "Oh, single seat, Hawk 200s, great." I will wait with bated breath and hope that it's not, a rehash of somebody else's model, which, like I say, I'm wary of with A&A, because my experience has been pretty unsatisfactory with them so far.
Well, hang about. Whose Hawk 272nd scale could they rehash?
Well, no, I'm not talking about, but they could take any Hawk kit and rehash it to be a 200. I'm not saying a Hawk 200, but they could. But generally speaking, when that kind of thing happens, like with the Mirage 4, you end up with a substandard molding.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on that, because that's certainly as and when one of these becomes available and the price is decent, I'm going to bag one and see what it's like.
Oh, I will, but I will certainly be in the market to bag one, because there's 3 variants. There's you've got the original color scheme, one of the prototypes, and the Malaysian stroke. Is it Omani and Oman?
Indonesia, that's Malaysian. Indonesian, Malaysian. Yeah, I'm going to say one of the prototypes, one of the ill-fated.
The 200 only had three customers ultimately. But really, of far more interest to me, there's a range of AD5 Sky Raiders, the family models coming. Which is interesting.
The Hawks are more interesting, but there we go.
Sorry?
I said, not to me. The Hawks are more interesting.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. The Sky Raider is significantly more interesting. But there you go.
All right, go on. Go on. Here's the noose. Hang yourself. Go on.
But anyway, it's interesting, because I know Special Hobby have been working on family model Sky Raiders as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the results of this are. But there's 3 variants there, which I'm really, really looking forward to, because I really like we're long overdue for good family model Sky Raiders.
I'll say we had the Hasegawa kit back in the 19.
No, it's not a family model.
No.
It's not the wide fuselage 4-seater. So I mean, we're still really, there was one a few years ago that was released but never really got widespread sort of release, and apart from that, the monogram kit from the mid-60s. So that's really interesting to me, as is an F-15 reporter and attendant XP61E, which is the Black Widow with a bubble canopy, basically the reconnaissance version of the Black Widow, and a day fighter variant of the Black Widow, which are.
Now, when you said earlier on that what had really caught you with Models Fit / A&A models, and you said, "Oh, they're doing an F-15," I kind of thought, really, not another F-15. Then I said, it's an F-15, right? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's an F. There's no dash. It's F-15 as one. That's what a lot of people get, and they've got it wrong there. Actually, it's F-15 is an F-15 Eagle. F-15 is a Black Widow variant.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, what is going on here?
Fill in a second. I've just got to dash out the room a sec.
So so yes, it will be very interesting to see what happens with them. But I'm really looking forward to specifically the Mirage 4P. Hopefully is new. The Sky Raiders and the F-15 are my major picks. I'm fairly certain the Mauler kit there is a Sigma or Siga kit from a few years ago, which is an okay model but not brilliant. I think that is a retool or re-release of that tooling, which is, it's not the worst. It's of its time. It's okay. And then we got sort of King Airs and stuff as well. I can't scroll through. I can't scroll through this because I don't have control of this. But yeah, Jim, my Mirage 4 went into the bin. It was just it just wasn't worth, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, shall we say. It's just I think it was just such a poorly executed kit. That said, I've seen one or two of them built really nicely, but I ain't got the energy for that these days. And Andy's, I'm with you, Andy. Able Dog Sky Raiders, family models, just fantastic. And the Hawk 200, I mean, I like enough for one. But it's such a limited edition aeroplane, really. That it'll be interesting to see, as Dave said, if they catch the subtleties between the different ones. But yeah, it was. I think I'm right in saying, was it Indonesia, Malaysia, and I think Oman, was it? Were the only customers for the Hawk 200. Then in fairly small numbers. I think certainly less than 50 total were made. So yeah, that's I think that's a really interesting range.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with that. What these Hawks are like, and whether they're, what they've done in terms of whether they get the shapes right and all that kind of malarkey. So
yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's with these, it's like with the F-15s there, the F-15 XP61E. I'm very enthusiastic, but I know how good Models Fit is, and my experience of A&A has been very different. So I'm kind of sort of, quite sort of standoffish, if you like.
Yeah.
I'll wait to see. And then you got some other stuff here, most of which is just re-releases and stuff like that. And then we go down to, then we go down, but we'll get to Sova M, who are really the A model level still, which is they're really quite rough. You've got, I've built some very successfully, but you need some. You've got to have your work. You've got to have your wits about you.
Some modeling skills required.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. But I love some of these drones and stuff that they're doing. They're really interesting, really interesting stuff. And yeah, see that Hansa jet, I'd like that as well.
Okay.
And the some of the Gulfstream variants there. See, it's a really interesting eclectic range, isn't it? Albatrosses, various Learjets here.
As I say, it's whether they. I think you need to see one. I think you've got to take this range very much on a kit by kit basis.
Yeah, and here you are. You're going to now we're up to Sova M, who have just released this Fairchild T46, the little eaglet, which was the replacement trainer for the T37 that never actually entered service. And if you're seeing a bit of A10 in there, that's because it's a Fairchild design. It's but again, now we're moving into Sova M. These really are kits that will test you, shall we say? They really will test you.
You don't build kit builds you.
Very much so. Very much so. So Herman Handbrush, did somebody say A&A bears some relationship to A model? Yeah, I mean, Models Fit, A model, Sova M, A&A, they're all part of they all came out of the same place, if you like. So they started off as a model in the mid late 90s, and sort of morphed into Models Fit a few years ago. And when they morphed into Models Fit, they immediately became much, much better, and they've just continued going sort of on this upward trajectory to where they're releasing absolutely superb models now. But they've retained these other parts of the business, if you like, that are doing even more eclectic things, but not with quite the level of detail and execution, shall we say? So
right, shall we skip on, because we're just come up to 20 to 9. I get the feeling we are gonna kiss the face of 9 o'clock here, but never mind. That's
but
what
sorry, I
we're
thought
here.
it was you that had an hour to kill. I thought you just had an hour and you were.
No.
All right.
I wouldn't. I'd like to try and keep it to an hour, but don't worry about it. We will go over. Right, now this is AK Interactive. Now these are really quite interesting. Hang about. Let's just try and get the link up. These are really quite interesting because this appears to be their own range of kits, and they are doing. Let's just call up the thing. Come on. Where are they? There they are. They are doing right.
I'm presuming they're Tacom are doing the tooling for them, because that's who does.
Possibly.
Oh, that's AK, isn't it? MIG have Tacom doing their stuff. This is AK.
Yeah.
You still still get all these the Spanish guys all mixed up. I know it's wrong and you shouldn't, but especially given the history. But yeah, that's a really interesting little development, isn't it?
Well, I think these are all short wheelbase Land Rovers, as opposed to
well, they're all Land Rover 88s, so rather than 110s. So
of the three, I'm sorry, these images are not formatted for a show like this, unfortunately. Of the three that they're doing, because they're doing a
silly one at the bottom, isn't it?
What? I don't know. I like the one in the camo at the top. That kind of tickles my fancy. That
the
one in the middle. The one in the middle, I've got no interest in whatsoever.
Yeah.
But
It's an Israeli one. But in fact, last night I was more interested in the tracked vehicle in the background, so I had to go and do a little search on the internet to find out what that was. And it's a ROM, which is a Sherman-based 155mm howitzer. There you go. Yeah. I mean, it's just ironically, I think the one that I've got least interest in of those three is the Israeli one, but I also think it's the one that's probably going to sell the most.
Right. Okay.
Well, it's Israeli, isn't it? I mean, Israeli is one step away from German World War II, ironically enough, in that people just love it and buy it, you know. That's why everybody's got multiple Merkavas and stuff in their range, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, here we go. All right, we've got. Let me just.
But if you said to me you can have one of these three, which one is it? The bottom one, without I wouldn't even have to think about it. That's just you know. That's got 1960s diorama, UK diorama all over it, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm just right. I've finally managed to get some better quality images of these now. So let's get rid of them, and let's get rid of them, and we can get rid of them. Right. So bear with me. I'm just going to go and get the. Oh God. I hate it when these things aren't formatted properly, but there we go. Small first world problems. Right, here we go. Where are we? Oh, for God's sake. I know. Share screen. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Right, here we go. Oh, finally.
Ian, we were looking at the second one down, not the top one. The second one down is Israeli.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to.
I'm correcting Ian Goldstraw in the comments. That's Israeli.
Right. Well, it's in that kind of sand grey of theirs, isn't it?
Yeah, and the vehicles behind are, like I say, Israeli howitzers. So
that's quite interesting.
I love that. That is just fantastic.
I've noticed they've said licensed by Land Rover. I'd be very curious to see whether they've also got licensing clearance to use the AA logo. Ooh, there's a thing.
Be interesting to know, but But no,
But no, that's
I like that.
Even
that painting, the setting just looks perfect.
Well, you can see that's got Miguel Jimenez all over it. That
well, I could see our own Mr. Pollard doing that in exactly that setting.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing exactly that. A hedge, a wall, and this, and the broken up standard English road there. It would just look fantastic, wouldn't it? It just looked fantastic.
I got to say though, I do like that. I just think that looks.
I'm waiting for the rumours to start that they're going to do a Belvedere to go with it.
No, they're not going to do a Belvedere to go with it. Yeah, but that does look fabulous. That, and with a little bit of luck, that's going to be. I think that's going to be moderately priced, but I think those should prove popular. They should.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. I think it's a great subject, and it's certainly long overdue for some serious love, shall we say?
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. So we've had in recent years, we've had obviously we've had the oh no, because I was thinking the Airfix Snatch Land Rovers were 48 scale. So I think it's Hobby Boss have done Snatch Land Rovers in 35th. You've still got the Italia doing some of their older Land Rovers. They're reissuing those. But no, that is
Peter Oxley there saying UK Landy looks like Kent or the Cotswolds in the background. Honestly, Peter, I could drive 5 minutes away from here and park a Land Rover up somewhere that looks exactly like that, and I'm in Somerset. I think it's just all over the UK you'll find little villages with that. And Simon James Colley, the arty in the background is interesting. Yeah, like I say, Simon, I looked at that up last night, and it's called the Roem. And it's a 155mm howitzer based on the M4A3E8 chassis, I think, Sherman chassis. So that's why it's got that huge casemate on top to fit the howitzer in. No kits, no 35th scale kits available. Some resin stuff about. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I did the research for you, Simon.
There we go. He says, usually I don't like to do anything in 35th scale except armor, but I might make an exception for the tow truck.
Well, the thing is that crane is almost certainly going to be it's an addition to the kit. So you're basically buying your basic Series 2 Land Rover there with a flatbed on the back, and then it's open day on what you want to, open season really, isn't it? Yeah. On what you want to do.
Says one, fair enough.
You and
Jared, neighbour Jared says good news for the newly formed Land Rover SIG. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got want. And we've got need. So I think we only need 2 more of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and we're done. So, but yeah, and Jared says good news for the newly formed Land Rover SIG. Indeed, yeah. So I think those are going to be very, very popular kits. And yeah, depending on what the prices are. If they're well priced, I'm in for one of them. And I'm in for one of them. So we can get one and report back on this show. So
I'm very much in for the crane one. But really, like I say, it's a Land Rover. You could take any one of those and do anything you like with it. It's like it's like a Toyota Hilux, isn't it? You know, you can just do anything with it and get away with it because there's a million variations. So.
Right, let's just we'll rattle through it because this is honestly, folks, this is not even a comprehensive look at what's been announced this week. I mean, we're going to have to split this up into about 3 or 4 shows here, but we are going to leap ahead to IBG, who have got some interesting items coming out this year, and well, look at that. They're doing a Panzer II Aus B, but this is one with the weird kind of suspension on it, that kind of Czechish suspension. That is just fabulous. I like that. Sign me up.
I like the camouflage.
You like the camouflage? It's in that kind of is that Polish campaign It's very early war anyway. And
it's absolutely very early war, but it's that dark red brown on the grey just looks great. I think it's a really nice.
So if we quickly scroll down,
we were still going to get that 2-in-1, weren't we? And never did.
Well, I will get it. Don't worry. Because that was Tacom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, I was going to get one of them at a show, but anyway, here we go. And some of the features of our brand new early Panzer II family. First models of the Panzer II prototype series ever produced in 35th scale. Detailed early production drive system, which, that is really quite striking. Workable plastic tracks. Detailed interior of the turret hatches and driver's vision port can be posed open or closed. And it's no secret I love the Panzer I and the Panzer II family, and to get these extra variants of the Panzer II, and this is the thing, people tend to think of the Panzer II and they think of something like the Panzer II-G, which is pretty much that's the Tamiya one that I think everybody's built. And they think, well, it's kind of like they think they know the Panzer II. No, there were so many different variations of sloping hull and running gear. And, it's a fascinating model subject in its own right. But that looks absolutely fabulous. They're doing a limited edition boxing with some metal barrels, some 3D printed barrels and a metal barrel, and some mini art German tank crew in early war uniforms. Jolly good. Let's just have a quick scroll through what else they're doing. Nothing new in 72nd scale. Although these are fabulous kits, by the way. They have no... I know we talked about IBG, we talked about Modelsvit and some of those other companies having kind of like clunkers in their range. These are top dollar. These are absolutely fabulous. They do some universal carriers. Sorry, Drew?
No, I didn't say anything.
All right. We'll just quickly whiz through this range here. But these really are nice kits. Let's have a look, see what we've got here. See, they do brand new family of Crusaders, or they've been out for a few years now, but very nice. Soon, Opel Multia half track, but one with the early radiator. So that's good news. And what else have we got here? Blah 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 blah. They're doing a Diamond T. They're doing a Wrecker version of the Diamond T, and that's the soft cab version. Let's have a look. Bum 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 bum. Bum dum 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 dum. Here we go. We've got some Soons here. So we've got 3 Ukrainian BTR-4E variants, and these are brand new. So we've got the APC with a gun on top. We've got the APC with the slat armor, and we've got the APC with the Grom turret as well, and the Wallace, the Grom turret, and we've got a secret item. So
yes, please and thank you.
Sorry.
Yes, please and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, a secret item. And they've got some. This is just the usual. We've got some more secret items there actually. And we're just gonna scroll down. It's not the easiest catalogue to kind of navigate on the internet. I've seen some of these Marmon Harrington armored cars. They are fabulous. They really are. I just wish I had the time to build one, but
I do like that one in the Corsa scheme.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, they are fabulous. They're absolutely fabulous. Yeah. And we've got some more Scammel variants there. Blah 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 blah.
Wheeled APCs.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, they're a few years old, but I think they're really nice.
Yeah. Scrolls down. I do like their Italian trucks with the howitzers on as well. It's just imaginative. People go, oh, there's nothing new coming out these days. Well, these are genuinely kind of quite exciting. Then we're down to the Panzer II. So we've got a Panzer II OSF A1 we've got the A2, and we've got an Aus B as well, and a Aus A2 limited edition. So you got that one and a secret item. Ooh. Then we got some boats or ships, or ship boats, whatever you want to call them. We've got the aircraft. Nothing new in the aircraft range on that page.
No new toolings this year. I don't think it's just variations on a theme. So I mean, obviously they're expanding their Dora 9 collection to, you know, approximately 750 boxings.
Yes.
But you know, it's a beautiful little model overall, and so they're going to make the most of it, and you know, there's no reason why they shouldn't.
No, there we go. And that's that. Incidentally, that World at War thing, that's that magazine they do with a kit attached to it. And I think Dave Fleming sent me, was it Dave Fleming or John Walker sent me one of them? Absolutely. I mean, they are beautiful kits. They really are. And yeah, they're worth looking out for. They really are. And just some other bits and pieces, blah 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 blah. And then finally, we're going to get to this. It's our good friends at ICM, and they are doing. Let's just get this thing up. There we go. They are doing well. How about this? A Ural 4320 72nd scale truck, a military truck of the armed forces of Ukraine, and quite right too. That's quite interesting because that's in like a digital camo.
Yeah, that is a standard Ukrainian camouflage now, as a digital camo. They use it on their aircraft and their armor. So, well, Jim, what does the secret item represent? Well, we don't know. It's secret.
It's secret, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Decal with pixel camouflage and license plates of the armed forces of Ukraine. Brilliant. So that should be popular. And, you know, quite a big vehicle, but it'll still be smallish in 72nd scale.
Yeah.
But that deserves to be popular. And if you've never built anything by ICM, or you've never built a truck, or you've just never ventured beyond your comfort zone, I would say invest in one of these. Invest in one of these ICM kits. Especially
ICM have been around since the mid 90s, and they started off with you know, fairly decent kits that required, you know, something of
modern input.
You know, like the 48 scale Spitfires, which were, you know, if you're clumsy, that they bit. If you were careful, you got a really nice model. But in the last 8-9 years or so, they've really come into their own, and they're producing. They're world class now. They are thoroughly world class.
Yeah.
So
that does look fabulous. That got no more details on it at the moment, but that is coming up in this year. Then we have, if you bear with me, we have, let's find it. They're doing a figure, and they're doing a 1/16 scale soldier of the armed forces of Ukraine. So if you fancy getting your paintbrushes out and brushing up, if you pardon my pun, on your figure painting skills, that looks good.
That's going to be a serious challenge as well, because that's digital camouflage as well. So.
Yeah, I was just thinking that is a tricky one, but yeah, that looks fabulous. And then we have, and I know this is going to really interest Drew, so much so we're going to have to kind of like literally kind of hold him down onto his desk here. They're doing another Bronco variant, but this is
thank you. Yes,
OV10 in the Euro 1 camouflage.
No, that's not Euro 1. That's US Marines. No. That's US Marines camo. It's nice that they're continuing to get stuff from that mold. You know, get mileage from it.
Yeah,
and that's a great model. That is an absolutely great model. Fantastic value for money. Builds beautifully, superbly detailed. If you haven't got one yet and you like the Bronco, go and get one.
How much are they again?
I think I paid no more than 30 quid for each of mine. I think this one is listed at about 37 or 38 pounds. So, it's fantastic value for money. It's a great model. It was unbelievable value for money originally when it was about 28, 29 pounds, but anything around 40 quid is still good value for money for this model.
That reminds me of, God, this is here we go, wibbly wobbly, going back in time. 1986. You know what I'm going to say, don't you, Drew?
I think so.
No, 1986. That's when I first started buying Sam. And one of the first articles in there was a Mike Keep artwork feature on the OV10 Bronco.
Right. Yeah.
And absolutely brilliant. Mike Keep, what can I say? Legend, local legend, in fact. But yeah, it just opened my eyes up to all the different color schemes you could do with the Bronco, like, and also the variants like the Nogs and everything. But that is, because the thing is, I kind of grew up aware of the Bronco through obviously the Airfix kit and those Vietnam schemes. But as soon as I started seeing these ones in these kind of low vis colors, I thought, oh yes, no, that's nice. I like that.
The thing was, they were quite, they were a regular visitor to our shows in the UK from the US Air Force in Europe. They would always come in. The European one camouflage ones would always visit with the A10s for air shows and stuff. So you saw them around quite a lot. And even now, you still see those German, the ex-German ones on the air show circuit, don't you?
Where were we? Where didn't we see one? Didn't we see an OV10 at Gloucester Airport once? I can't remember
now. I can't remember.
It's been a while since we've been there, but
yeah.
But yes, it's a fabulous subject. I mean, we've got a brand new 48 scale kit from ICM. Thank you, ICM. You still got the Academy kit in 72nd scale, which is all right. It's probably a bit long in the tooth.
I believe ICM have also announced they're doing this in 72nd this year.
Right, it's not appearing in their catalogue just yet, but we'll have a tail enders episode where we are.
Yeah, I mean, it would make perfect sense for them to do it in 72nd and sort of and clean up that sector of the market for a new toolkit, shall we say? Yeah. So. There we go.
So what is secret item?
That's what I said. We don't know. It's secret.
We don't know. It's a secret. It's a secret. Anyway, it is. Yeah, Mike. Hang about. Pavel Krupovich says, John, you'll like this announcement. Oh God, hang about. We've got an announcement here, but the thing is because of the way this streaming company sets things up. When people post links to our page, to our timeline when we're streaming, we can't actually go in there and cut and paste the link out, or indeed click on the link and actually see what it's about. Go on.
No, you'll like it.
I might not now.
No, you will.
Right. Okay. Oh, guess what? I like this. Right.
That looks like a boot. That looks like a shoe.
Right.
Oh, come on. That looks just like a shoe.
It does look like a shoe. Right. Bear with. That's going to be one of our t-shirts. Just going to say, bear with. This is Models Zvit. No, sorry, Models Zvit. God, I'll get the name of the company right in a minute. This is Das Werk. And this is their, well, look at that. A Schwemmwagen triple SG6/38. Do you know what? You're right. I do like that. I like that a lot. And yeah, sign me up. Anybody?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just making sure you were still there.
No, it looks like a big clown shoe.
It does look like a big clown shoe. Highly detailed static plastic model, correct shaped rounded main body, i.e. clown shoe, complete crew compartment interior, transparent and PE parts included, five marking options included. Right, that's it. That's my model of the year already. What can I say?
Yes.
Yep. I like that. And it is a variant of the Schwimmwagen as well. So, I like that.
That is definitely that's a face only its mother could love.
It is. But no, that's it. It's
I shall forever. All I can see now is that painted white with blue trim and a big red nose. It's a big clown shoe.
Mm-hmm. It's in cooperation with Boldiv something. Well, I can't see what the name is down there, but that does look fabulous. So yeah, thanks for that, Paul. That is going to be that is that. I just like that. I like that. It's going to be that is this year's Lafley V15. That is.
So let's just say, Pavel, you weren't wrong, John. You're going to like this. Yeah, you weren't wrong.
You're not wrong. Jim Aldcott says, I'd like to cross the Rhine with that. Jerry Dawes says, beautiful. Dave Fleming says, that's weird, like a platypus. David Mummery says, does it come in left and right versions? Does it come in right and wrong versions? Tim Maunder says, hippo on wheels. Jim Aldcott says, wunderbar. Brian Wilton says, it's the banana splits car. For those of an age. It is the banana splits car. And Mike Williams says it looks like something from Scrap Heap Challenge. It does. But that's it. That is, we're going to set ourselves a challenge here. That is going to be one of our kits of the year. Right, Drew. I'm sorry that's been a very rapid kind of run through the new release, well, some new releases, because there's still more new stuff to talk about.
It's been a busy week, been a busy couple of days, hasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, so oh, that was beautiful. That. Any other business?
Not from me, no.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
No, I can't think of anything else to say either. Just as a thing, any rants? No, can't think of anything. No. That's it. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, no, it's been a very busy week, very enjoyably busy week,
not
shall we say?
Yet either. So we're gonna be
no, because Nuremberg's ongoing, and there's news from there that we all know about, but requires discussion, shall we say? So yeah, the pace is picking up again, isn't it?
Yep. I'm just trying to think, what companies have we not covered? I've just noticed that here we go. Round 2 have just put their update up for they've just put their update for February, and one of the things they're bringing back is the Snark missile, which I seem to remember was one of those things that was it was actually a kit that was tooled up in like the 60s and was never released until Lindbergh got hold of the tooling in the 90s, and then they released it then. But up until then, it had never been released at all. Bizarre, that, isn't it?
Yeah, odd.
Look it up. Anyway, so we'll probably do we've got the link here, so we're going to do I'll tell you what, we'll share that now. That's sharing the link to the round 2, February 2023. We're just putting that up on our timeline now. Bear with me. There we go. Shared to our profile. I was just looking for something else. I can't remember what it was, but never mind. I'm sure I remember. I was going to put the picture up of that Schwimmwagen. So I'll put that all up for everybody to think here. Also, Drew, whilst I've got you on the show, we've just over the God, that's still not working. Never mind. We had the Italeri announcements over the weekend, before the weekend. Obviously, the big one, although it's not big, but it's big news, was they're doing a 72nd scale AMX. Finally,
yeah, it was announced last year, wasn't it? So it's been.
Was it?
Yeah. We talked about it last year.
Oh, did we? Oh.
Yeah. We talked about it last year, and it's been delayed and pushed into the 2023 catalogue. So, again, with sort of like the Western European manufacturers, I'm interested. I look forward to it, and I'm just waiting to see what actually comes in the box.
So Jim Altegott says Hella. No, we've done Hella. We have done Hella.
Yeah, we did Hella a few weeks ago, but we'll we can recap these things as everything firms up. We can recap things like the Hella Hawkeye and stuff like that. So
yeah, and John, a lot of people saying John Patrick Huston is saying Banana Splits has 6 wheels. I think you'll find, and here's a little bit of thing. I think the Banana Splits kind of like dune buggy thing was the same as the Space 1999 one as well. I'm sure it was. It was a little vehicle they had anyway.
Supercat.
Yeah, something like that. Perhaps I've got that wrong. I'm just going to have a look to see.
Anyway, we need to quit this, John. Because I got to go and do stuff. So
that's true. I've got to go and do stuff as well. Right. Yeah. On that note, just to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight. It's been a marathon session tonight, but I think it's a good one. Again, another exciting year of new kits coming out. So save up your pennies.
Yeah, there's plenty more. There's plenty more to talk about. So
yeah, Dave Fleming said special hobby list. Yeah, we'll do the special hobby list next time, Dave. It's in fact we'll get Dave on to talk about the special hobby list.
Yeah,
there we go.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Open your mouth, Dave. You're coming on the show. On that note, it just remains for me to say thank you, Drew, for joining me tonight. We'll be back on Wednesday. No, where Sunday. Are we today?
We're on Wednesday today.
Right.
Sunday.
We'll be back on Sunday. COVID brain fog. We'll be back on Sunday. We should have Ian Hartup on the show to talk about new automobile models. So that'll be good. And good to have a bit of an informed opinion, shall we say. On that note, it just remains for us to say thank you for watching. We'll see you on Sunday. So from us both.
Stay safe all. See you later.
Bye for now.